Hi, hello, and good evening. It is Thursday, July the 20th. Boys' night only. Gina is out on vacation, enjoying her life as I don't know, as a fun-loving free spirit out there in the Montaukes. For those of you who are not familiar with Long Island geography, Montaukes is Montauk. Okay. Hell, who
It's
cares?
the
But what are
end.
we talking about tonight? Um, Temptation Island and Claim to Fame. Do you have a favorite of these two? Are you still standing strong on your Temptation Island bullshit?
Okay. my Temptation Island bullshit has always been just about being in love with Nafisa because she is gorgeous. But Claim to Fame is clearly the better show.
Thank you. Thank you. That was not really clear by the way that people were speaking to me last week. So I'm glad we got that out of the way. But that's what we'll be discussing tonight. This week's episodes of both respective shows. Let's let's kick this thing off. You notice I have decided to completely forego the blacking out of Gina while she is out because I do not believe that her lack of presence should create more work for me. So, so anyway, I am Kyle Petty, and I'm joined as always by my festy bestie, John Dunphy. This is Strat Chat. You can find us on socials at Strat Chat Pod or on our actually updated website, stratchatpod.com. Okay. So which one do you want to talk about first? Tempties Island or Claim to Fame?
I feel like we should talk about the so Liz put a comment here.
Oh,
So she said Claim to Fame is so much fun. I love that the
yes,
contestants are strategic and playing hard to win.
absolutely. Yes.
And so my going off of Liz's comment here, I think we should talk to Claim to Fame first so that I'm a little more clear headed before my edible kicks in for like the strategic, more strategic conversation. And then we can get into the mess of
Okay.
Temptation Island.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I just don't want people to think that this is also like a silent way of endorsing Temptation Island. Like, Claim to Fame is in no way the opening act to Temptation Island. Okay. Like, I just want to make sure that that's clear. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, this week's episode of Claim to Fame did not disappoint. All right, this is basically the Big Brother for like celebrity relatives, and I am loving every single minute of this. I thought it was a throwaway show in the beginning. I was like, "What is this?" There are so many layers to this game, and I'm enjoying it more and more every single week. I guess I just wish that there was a more exciting name for the guesser. I think I said this once before, but it
Yeah,
just sounds so
yeah,
not dramatic.
you have said this, and I do
Yeah.
agree. It is a little. Oh, it's a guess off, and who is the star of the guess off? The
The
guesser.
guesser. Yeah, and like I don't know, there's just something. It just sounds like like a balloon descending from the sky. Like it's like, all right, we're gonna find out who will be the guesser, and it's like that is,
What do
and
you
the
think
music's
about
like dun
photo
dun.
booth?
I like the photo
Photo
booth.
booth.
I
Okay,
like that.
yeah,
That gives me BB vibes because it's just the right amount of corny and cheesy. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I think it's very fun, and I'm sure the brothers enjoy saying it. Like, then you're gonna head over to the photo booth. Like you can tell they really enjoy it. They like really lean into it. Yeah, I think
Well,
that's
good
fun.
job. Yeah,
Yeah.
as someone who was never a fan of the Jonas Brothers, I enjoy them hosting this show. I think that
I
and
enjoy it too.
yeah, and I'm happy to see Franklin get some shine. The one
Well,
brother who wasn't in the band.
right. And I was gonna say, honestly, like I mean, I get it. That's really the whole gag, right? Because his claim to fame is them. But honestly, it's Franklin for me that is the better host. I just find him to be more entertaining than the
I
other
think
one. I
Kevin.
don't even know his name. See, isn't that
It's Kevin.
terrible?
I
Mm-mm,
think.
mm-mm.
I think.
Kevin. Kevin Jonas, Kevin and Franklin,
Yeah.
Kevin Frankies. No, no, it's not that. It's definitely not that. Okay, so this episode opened with confirmation that Shane and Monet did indeed mislaid Jane? That was kind of unclear at the end of the last episode. I know Carson had kind of said it, but we didn't have like hard proof. But we got it
Yeah,
this week.
there was a lot of people talking about this. I didn't realize it was going to like stem into such a big conversation at the start of this episode, but it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, but I have to say now, of course, like we'll get into it all, but I really do think that that is not something that we should have been so proud about and publicly celebrating because it really is what really caused all these trust issues. It really partially led to the result that we got this week.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was so smart to be so proud of that. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't have been talking about it after. Like,
no, no.
sometimes you just got to take somebody out. It's like, whoa.
What was it like again?
Like, whoa. Like that. It's like that.
No, but I completely agree, though. I completely agree because I was saying to my mom, like, the only currency that you have in this game is information. Like, in Big Brother, you can lie a little bit. Oh my gosh, I have to cough. Sorry. You can lie a little bit, but you can also use like your comp wins and stuff to kind of prove your loyalty, right? Like, oh, I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to do this. Once you start lying, because the only bit of information you have are these clues that you went along the way. You can't lie.
Yeah.
Can't lie.
Right. Now, I have another question. I mean, and this is jumping around a little bit, but I feel like we're going to do that. But like, so the whole thing about like information being the currency, and you don't want to be caught in a lie and things like that. I feel like also in this game, it's risky, I think, at times to maybe spread the truth. It could turn out well, but for Carson, I was a little surprised about how like she went right into Chris and was like, they're all saying that my claim to fame is Jeff Gordon, but they're wrong. It's like, why not just let everybody think it is if you know that they're wrong? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know that they are wrong. Is the thing.
right.
I think that may have been a deflection. There was an absolute drop in her face when Cole brought that to her. Sorry, you all that were all jumping, but when Cole presented her with that, said, "I just want to see what her face looks like when I mentioned Jeff Gordon." And her face did drop, and Chris mentioned that, like, is this her last hurrah to make it look like it's not? But again, there's so many question marks around it, like you can't be sure. But I don't know. She was sweating so hard during the guess off. She was sweating really hard during the guess off, and
which could be I mean,
what you sweating over? What you sweating over?
Right. Wow. Yeah. Oh man. It really.
I still think it's Jeff Gordon. I still think it's Jeff Gordon.
Okay.
And I think Carson. I just think she's smart. I think she's smart. That was her last ditch effort.
I took her at face value, being like, it's not Jeff Gordon, and I was like, immediately was like, oh, I guess, like, why would you even say it then? Like, just let everybody think it is. Like, I was just taking her at her word, but you're totally right. Which creates even more confusion. If it is or isn't,
it doesn't matter.
Chris probably creates just extra confusion. That
yes, either way it helps. Whether she did it to deflect or not, it will still serve a lot of the same purpose because it just casts a lot of doubt on the whole thing. Yeah, like we're gonna need to know more to know that it's definitely Jeff. It may be a race car driver, but who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I did appreciate the fact that Shane dropped the word floater. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah.
That means she knows things. Yeah. I think we are akin to Miss Shane Murphy.
There were a number of things in this episode. Shane saying the floaters, Hugo talking about playing both sides. There was a lot of things in this episode that felt very Big Brother-y.
Very Big Brother-ish. And I did see some people on Twitter commenting that they really want to see Shane on Big Brother. And I absolutely see why. If we can get anything positive from this writers and actors strike, maybe it's another celebrity Big Brother. And maybe this was enough to get Shane on. Because I definitely want to see more of her. Put her in the Big Brother OTT house,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh. And who doesn't want to see like more Shane? I mean, like she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous.
Cole thinks she's gorgeous too.
And what is this? Well, fuck Cole. What is this? Floaters, get your life belts on. It's a
life belts.
This is
a life belt.
This is Matt. This is not gonna do. This is not gonna do. Floaters grab a life vest, a life belt. This is a mess.
I think Liz wants us to get Shane on, which if we somehow get on the daughter of Eddie Murphy,
Listen, as much as yes, that's a really like fun thing to say, but I care more about the fact that it's Shane. I don't care at all that she's Eddie Murphy's kid. It's a fun thing to say, right?
No, yeah, I love Shane. I love
Right,
Shane.
exactly.
But just
I
the
would want her
idea
on
of
just regardless.
yeah, but just the idea of like telling somebody like, yeah, I do a podcast. We just talked to Eddie Murphy's daughter last night.
Right, like that's a fun thing to
Whoa.
say, but I couldn't care less if she was just like so, I don't know, like a part time, I don't know, maybe she sells snow cones in the corner or something. I don't care. I would still want her because I loved her on this show. She's really smart mind. Want more of Shane? We're gonna reach out. We're gonna reach out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did you think of this challenge? We had to be blindfolded, and we had three separate teams: green, blue, and orange. And you had to kind of like look around for the little statues and feel some things out to figure out what clue correspond. Well, that's not what it was. Each statue was a clue that corresponded to a certain contestant, and you just had to basically find them and feel out what the clue was. You didn't know who it was. You didn't know who it was related to. But we did get some nuggets in this, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did you think of Gabriel with the burger thing? Very concerned about Good Burger. He said that his celebrity relative, was apparently on Nickelodeon with Keenan and Kel.
And somebody was saying that like the Whataburger, I think it might have been the Reality Guys actually. And on their stream when they did their latest recap, they mentioned something about I think All That on Nickelodeon. Like Whataburger started as like a skit on there.
Who?
Whataburger started as like a skit on All That on Nickelodeon.
What's Whataburger?
Oh my god, Good Burger. I'm saying Whataburger. Why am I saying Whataburger?
I was like, what? Who's that now?
I'm thinking of actual fast food burger chains. Yes. That's why.
I just loved the double down. You puffed your chest real big, and you said,
I did not puff anything. All right, well,
you were puffing. You were puffing.
About puffing, yeah, puffing. That's a whole different conversation. But Good Burger started as a skit on Nickelodeon on this show.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
My goodness. Liz goes, it's the edible already.
Fast track. So silly. Do you think it's a deflection as well for us? Do you think we're being deflected upon?
It could be. I'm sorry. I've totally confused myself with this Whataburger thing now.
Well, what do you mean? You're totally thrown off now?
I'm all over the place. Okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, come back. I think Gabriel's a big fat liar. I think I'm starting to think that it's Keenan.
Really?
I don't know. Something about the eyes. I know people were saying Nick Cannon. You think Kenan Thompson? You look at those eyes. Keenan.
Well, because it would be an interesting thing if it's Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon wasn't in Good Burger, right? I mean, I know he might be associated with the network that it came from, and has worked with Keenan and Kel. But it would be odd to me if Nick Cannon wasn't in Good Burger and like a cheeseburger, and he immediately was like, "Oh no, that's a giveaway." It makes me feel like it's not Nick Cannon.
Right, because I feel like that's almost if we were going to follow that plot line, right? That it's just because it's Nick Cannon because he worked with them. That I feel like a burger is almost too not direct. It's too off. It's too off. So yeah. I don't know. We'll Matt says you're pretty sure Nick Cannon started on All That. I think he did too, but I don't think that's enough. The burger is way too specific.
Do you also think that the people who were eliminated, were their clues still involved, do you think? I saw somebody saying, it looked like there was a shrimp in there. They were saying like maybe that was Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump with like the Bubba Gump shrimp or something like that. Because a lot of these clues, as we saw them, didn't make sense to me for anyone.
Wow, that's interesting. Wait, also as an aside, do you remember Estelle from Friends?
Oh, of course, Estelle. Yes, the
The
agent,
agent, right?
Joey's agent.
Yeah. So when you just said, oh, do you think that because the shrimp, Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump, and it's like, it reminded me of that episode where I don't know what was actually going on, but Estelle's just like, and I don't know why Estelle just constantly lives at the forefront, rent free. All right, especially if you're that close, you should be paying something.
To go totally off the rails now, I think my favorite part of Estelle was when Phoebe was continuing to pretend to be Estelle.
No, she was her own agent. She was going to fire Estelle. Yes, in lieu of. Yes. Oh my gosh, she was such an underrated character on that
Yeah.
show. Definitely not on enough. Um, there was also another moment where Joey had come back and he was like, "What's going on?" Oh, because his I think his health insurance was canceled.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I haven't gotten any work. What's going on? I need to go talk to Estelle. And he goes in there and he goes, oh, so you're back. Everyone thinks they can make it without Estelle. Oh, they'll come crawling back. And he goes, what are you talking about? You've always been my agent. Oh. First up, damage control. Honestly, like, she's so good.
I also love. Didn't like Joey find out that Estelle died then, and when like Phoebe was still pretending to be her on the phone?
Wasn't that later? I feel like
that was a lot later. Yeah. Right. Anyway, sorry.
No, way off. So anyway, are there clues in there not related to the people that are left? That's interesting. How many did we count? How many clues there were?
I didn't. I should have. But it looked like there were more in there than people left. Because I noticed it more when they brought everybody back after the competition and the statues were gone. But on the ground, they still had all the platforms. Like it looked like more platforms.
It definitely was more platform. It definitely was more than because we have 9 people left. That we do know because it was 3 teams of 3. So yeah, maybe. That's very interesting. So you could just be feeling around for things that like don't even matter anymore. Huh. All right.
This was fun to watch, though. I got to say, this was a fun competition to watch.
This was fun to watch. There was also, so who is Olivia? I don't think we've seen a lot of her at all this one.
We haven't seen much.
Yeah, she had a weird strategy of not wanting to say the things that she was finding because she thought that would now serve as an extra clue for her. What did you think of that strategy?
What was this? You cut Olivia. Out very briefly for me.
Oh, Olivia had made a comment that like when she was finding these statues, she didn't always want to shout out what it was because she thought that it would now serve as an extra clue for her if she didn't share it.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
It was interesting. I guess it's a good strategy to not really say much because then like if somebody calls out a clue that you think might be yours, like you know what I mean? Like you're already keeping things to yourself. I don't know.
Right. Like I don't know. It's just weird.
But it's going to be kind of obvious, I think, if people keep asking you, like, "Oh, come over here. What do you think this is?" and you just never do anything. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. She hasn't gotten any camera time, so it's very hard to know if I can even infer this to be smart. Like I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. I just would want to win.
Yeah.
But then in that vein too, this game was a little unfair. I feel like the entire team should have gotten immunity, not just like the captain. Otherwise, what is anyone else's motivation to win?
Right.
To just not be in the bottom, I feel like that's not really enough.
Like it was funny because Shane came into this competition knowing that everybody has pretty much known who her celebrity claim to fame is from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So she's been just like trying to survive. And she was like, I either need to be the captain of the winning team or like the bottom 2 so that I have control and can maybe guess and get somebody else out. And then she was on the winning team, but wasn't the captain. And they did like much better than everybody else, it seemed.
They did.
So like maybe she should have been trying to throw it once she wasn't chosen as the captain. Like I didn't get any indication she was. Like Olivia, it seemed like was definitely trying to throw it. She even said she was. Like Shane, once you're not the captain, I thought the strategy would be throw it, make sure we get as few as possible.
Right. I don't know. I don't think she had any way to win this game. Like, if it didn't happen this week, it was going to happen at some point. Like, you're not, it's way too early to just win out. Like, you're not going to get immunity every single time. And eventually, if you keep making yourself the guesser, kind of putting yourself in that position, eventually you're going to get it wrong. I mean,
Right. And that makes me happy that they do this team thing too, because you know I think you're right. It would be impossible to get immunity every single time in every competition. But like the show is set up where people can't just constantly be winning immunity if they happen to be like the best competitor in each challenge. Like they like if you're on a team and you just happen to not be the captain, you can still win and not have immunity. I like that we're going from individual competitions to teams of 2 to teams of 3. Like it like mixes it up a lot.
okay. I don't, yeah, I do agree with that. I just don't like the outcome that we got from it this week. Um, but I do agree from from a game point of view, that is far more interesting. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, just my girl got burned, so I don't love it. Um, so what else? What else? Oh, so yes, Chris ended up picking Hugo's clue. That surprised me. I didn't expect him to do that. I definitely expected him to pick Monet's, because he's been pretty miffed that she's been sharing his. Um, Hugo's clue, though, didn't make not one lick of sense to me.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
I don't know what the hell that was. Those two wacky faces made me just forget anything I saw right prior to it. Um,
I was thinking that emoji was trying to portray someone who was nuts, because they keep talking about Hugo might be Jimmy Carter, who was a peanut farmer before being president.
okay, okay,
I wish I had the picture of the clue itself, but
yeah.
like the way that it was like a finger, it looked like going like this, like come to me,
Come to me,
um,
come to me.
and then it was the symbol for end, and then like a deer, and it was like, is it supposed to be commander, and then like the next one was in, and then like a police chief, so like it could be commander in chief that was a peanut farmer or something like that. That's the clue. Yeah.
That's interesting. Sorry, now I'm also talking to Liz. It's so silly. Um, farmer of nuts. Farmer of nuts.
Yeah.
She thinks. So would that be Jimmy Carter?
I think it's Jimmy
Oops.
Carter. Yeah.
Hmm. So then, what happens to this whole Buzz Aldrin?
I
Put
think
together.
that
Buzz
people
Aldrin.
I think people were getting confused. Well, Carly also was trying to do her part in throwing people off. I think that there was an astronaut on the wall, right, on the clue wall, and not far from there was also a bumblebee. And I think
Hmm.
people were taking that as like an astronaut, and Buzz, like a bee buzzes, right? Like,
Hmm.
but I think that astronaut was always supposed to be for Tom Hanks and Apollo 13. And
Oh.
yeah, and I think that people just started saying, "Oh, an astronaut, Buzz Aldrin. There's a bee here, Buzz, 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 Buzz. That must be Hugo." And it's like, but I think that was some misdirection. Like if Carly did one thing right in her time in the house, it was getting someone off the scent of the astronaut.
Okay. All right. That's very fair. Very fair. Okay. Um. Well, shoot. So then, what is the B? We don't know.
That I don't know. That I think could be totally unrelated. See, I feel like people were always like, for some reason, putting the astronaut and the bee together, as in astronaut Buzz Aldrin. But I feel like the bee could be, who knows? Who knows? I mean, that could be for anyone else in the house potentially. I feel like
Hmm.
maybe someone was on Broadway in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Who knows? Like,
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, as long as we're still guessing. So I had seen a comment here. I think Matt had made a mention. I mean, it could have been Liz. Somebody said about Cole. Oh, it was Liz saying that Cole said the cheese was probably his clue. Now, I thought we kind of had him tagged as related to Alicia Keys, which was also kind of mentioned in this episode by way of the diary and the piano and such.
Yeah.
But if Swiss cheese is his clue, bam, got nothing to do with nobody Alicia Keys now.
Right.
So what's that?
Yeah. I
Hmm.
don't know. And that's the other thing too. Like we're seeing because like even the
Oh, Liz!
oh Swiss
Swizz
beats.
Beats.
That could be good.
Yes.
That could be
My
good.
God. Look at you. Super sleuth. Oh my goodness. I want to
Yeah,
play
right.
Clue with you. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, that is her
That is
husband.
really
That's her
good.
husband. Which must ballyhooed at the beginning
Yeah,
of their relationship. Which is
that's
actually
good,
what
Liz. That's
birthed the song Blended Family. She'll find on one of
okay.
her albums. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering though because I was like, I don't know, like some of these clues can just call to people randomly. Like we saw Shane pulled Chris's clue, right? Showed it to Jane, and Jane immediately thought it was her clue. She's like, "This has to be my clue." So, like, I wonder how many of these people, celebrities, and the clues that they share are like intertwined a little bit. You know, like I don't
Right,
know.
right. There was also, didn't they say in the beginning of this too that there are some things on the wall that's not anything?
Mm,
Did they say
I
that,
think
or
you're
am I
right.
making that up?
I think you're correct.
Because if
I
that's the
also,
case, then maybe that's why they put that B up there. Sorry,
it's
suckers.
possible. Yeah, no, it's totally. I actually put a picture in here of the clue wall if you want to take a look at it. A couple
Yes,
weeks ago.
beatbox.
Beatbox,
Yes. Oh,
Kyle
I love
Petty,
my
let's
beatbox.
go.
Yes.
Woo! I love how they put reality guys Brett Larkin. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's really cute.
So
That's what we should
so
do.
we
I
can
like that.
yeah.
That's cute.
How's it
That's
going,
cute.
Brett?
Hi,
Good to
Brad.
have you here. This is the clue wall. I will say that at times in the show, it seems like it looks a little different to me. By
Really?
the way, yeah, like there's a steering wheel that they show in the show, like near that horse. If you see like
Oh, it's
towards the
not
bottom
here.
right, but in this one, it's not here. But
Huh. Oh boy. Is this show fraudulent?
it's a
Or
little
do they
hard to
just, or
see.
maybe things get added as they go? Maybe it's not
Yeah, maybe they change it up because I don't even see
hmm.
the B in there. So,
Interesting, interesting.
but the
I
clue
like that.
wall is in there. Yeah, if you want to glance at it ever.
Okay, all right. Well, this all led up to, basically, really Shane really wanting Cole to be the guesser because they wanted to get he wanted she wanted him to select Carson to say Jeff Gordon. So a lot of votes went Cole's way, and he did become the guesser. This is all because basically they were looking like they were in some bit of a showman's. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, which
Which felt like another Big Brother type thing.
it really did. It really did. The way this whole thing was edited felt so Big Brother, like just the whole scandal and the whole thing.
Right?
Um, yes, so there was apparently a lot of discourse in the house over whether or not Carson was deflecting by just being so outward with saying the whole spreading the Jeff Gordon rumor. Um, So that kind of casts a little bit of doubt as to whether or not anybody should be picking her. And as a result, Cole said, "You know what? I just want to go with the sure thing. I'm going to choose my girlfriend. I'm going to take Shane."
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I didn't like this because, like, I like Shane, but I don't think this. It wasn't a great move. It may have advanced you a little bit further in this, but I think that's going to eventually do him in.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. It seems like Monet's got her sights firmly on Cole now.
yeah, yeah. Because you don't have see you can burn people in Big Brother. Like we kind of touched on this before. You can burn people in Big Brother because when you do win things, you usually it gives you some power to keep somebody safe so you can make up for a lie. Here if you win a challenge, you're only keeping yourself safe. So the only currency you have here is in the information you receive and then like the trust that you form. Once you break trust like that and so publicly, I mean, if trust is the currency, then
Yeah.
your money's no good.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
Like that. It's good.
I
Um,
I do.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any
So
hope for Cole and Shane outside of the claim to fame house?
no. Outside of the claim to fame house is stupid. Absolutely not. That is
Yeah.
completely done. That is completely done. I think it should also be noted that Shane still left in a better fashion than Carly.
Oh
Um,
my god! And Carly remains the only competitor to not get a video message from her
oh my
celebrity
gosh, that's
relative.
also true. Further
I'm gonna
underscoring the
yeah.
fact that Tom Hanks does not know this woman. All
For
right.
as long as Claim to Fame is on the air and we are talking about it, I will be keeping track of that forever.
Oh shoot, that's so good. That's so good. Um, Fred has an interesting comment here, saying that the big thing with this show is that people are incentivized to break alliances depending on what they know about people's relatives, which is absolutely true. I mean, and I think you can definitely say that about any of these like social strategy games. Like there's always a reason to break it. But I think it's more of a pitfall here because you can't make up for it. Like there is
Yeah.
no action that you can ever do that can gain that trust back. So you're done. Like if I lied right to your face and then I win HOH and I don't ever put you up, all of a sudden you owe me, even though I
Yeah.
just burned you, but now you owe me.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Claim to
I
fame
also
has
think
nothing.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I also think it's bad for Cole that Chris like kind of changed up what he was thinking when he went to take the clue that he had earned from being you know, the captain of the winning team in the challenge, because Monet is clearly like out for Cole now.
Yeah.
And if everybody's been looking at Monet thinking it must be Steve Harvey or something like that. And it's like, well, maybe Chris could have gotten a clue that would have kind of like, confirmed things or put people in a different direction. And now instead, it's like people still don't have many answers on Monet.
Yeah. Which
So
is
Monet's going to
interesting.
be in there.
Unless the Steve Harvey thing is true.
It could be. It could be. But I feel like Shane, the most sure thing that anybody could have guessed on, just left.
Absolutely.
And now everybody's just kind of guessing on everything.
Yeah, now you truly are the guesser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the best thing for Cole after a move like that would have been Chris being like, let me get Monet's clue. Not that he's sharing it with anybody. What do you think about that, by the way, too? He's the first person to be like, I'm not going to show this to anybody. This is a clue for me. Is that going to bite him?
It could. It could, because again, that is the only currency you have. So like, will anyone now share a clue with you knowing that you have information they don't? It's like, well, you're already a leg up on me. I'm certainly not going to share anything with you now because you won't share back.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see how that one plays out.
And see we shall.
I'll see.
But I am sad to see Shane go. I really like Shane, and I would love to see her on something else.
I'd like to see her play Big Brother. She definitely has a mind for it. Like she understands, like how to play this. She's like, listen, I know I'm going home if somebody guesses me, so I have to make sure I create a situation where I won't be guessed. Like other people just kind of just like shake, and she was like, no, I have to get busy. Everybody else goes, oh my gosh, he said Jeff Gordon. Like, what do I do? I'm just gonna go tell everybody that it's Jeff Gordon. Yeah, like it's crazy. She has a mind for it. I think she'd be fun.
I think she'd be fun. I want like a celebrity Big Brother season of like previous reality TV celebrities, like specifically reality TV. Give me people from Claim to Fame, Survivor, The Traitors.
Yes.
Put them
Give me
in
a game that people
house.
know how to do this. Yeah. The problem with Celebrity Big Brother is not just that it goes so fast. It's just that by the time these people understand how to play the game, they're leaving.
Right.
And it's like, that's not fun. Like, it's like, oh, damn, I get it. Bye. Like, stupid.
Bye. Like the Carson, who was working together? on the last Celebrity Big Brother with Carson? That duo that she
Cynthia.
just
Cynthia.
Cynthia, that's right. Like you just wanted to root for them so bad, but they were
So
just
bad.
so out of their element. And
No.
once they were leaving, you were like, now they would have been good at this game.
Right. If Carson went back in that house, I would love to see Carson Kressley play this game again because he would go in completely. If he ever did, I think he's too sweet of a man to ever play this game again because I don't think he really has a constitution for it. But if he were to step up, you get a whole different version of him. He would have to
Yeah.
disconnect completely emotionally and just be like an absolute savage. I just don't know if
I
he could.
also think I also think that Carson would go in there, but he would like make a request and be like, listen, just don't put me on this show with anybody that I work with. Like I worked,
Mm,
like the fact that he worked with Todrick on RuPaul and stuff like that, right? Like I feel like he would be willing to go in again as long as he can be like, all right, now I know how to play the game. Now I know to take emotion out of it. But like I'm still a sweetheart, so like don't put me in there with anyone that I know
right, right.
because that's how I would love to see him play. Because I think he would still have a hard time taking the emotion out with people that he knows. Because I
Yeah,
just
he
feel like
needs
Carson is
strangers, total
he's just a
strangers.
sweet person. Yeah,
He
like
is. He's too sweet. Aw,
yeah.
we heart Carson. Sweet
Hmm.
man. So you want to talk some trash?
Let's talk some trash. Let's do it.
All right. Temptation Island, huh? Temptation Island. This show is a hot damn mess. I really get very angry when I watch
The
this. I have to
island.
be honest.
The
Yeah,
island is always watching.
and so are we for some reason.
Nafisa.
Oh,
She's got to get away from
please.
Great though. Great's not the one for her.
Because who is?
Me, of course.
My gosh. Um, so this episode started with a bonfire. We finished off the men's bonfire, and we had Hall saying that basically he has always known that Caitlyn is not the one for him. You're shaking your head. For why? What's your problem?
Hall, Hall is such a piece of crap. I gotta be honest. Like Hall is the worst. Like of all of the guys that you're at this bonfire with, the stuff that Hall has seen has been the best. It has been so like unproblematic. Like the worst that he has seen is Caitlyn like hugging somebody else.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
there was like I think the bonfire before this one, it was literally like a 5 second clip of Caitlyn just like being like, "Oh yeah, I know, I just need to like have fun," and then it was over. Like meanwhile, you got the rest of like these, and not just the guys, but the girls too. Every single one of like their significant others is like hooking up with people, grinding up on people, and then you have Hall being like, "I know for sure now. After 8 years, we were together, we broke up, we got back together. I proposed to her, and now I know that she's not the one because she was hugging some other guy." Like, meanwhile, you got Great watching like Paris get into bed with Tajik, and like at the same time she's talking to this other guy, and then like you got Rob over here like hooking up with Desiree. Like you got people actually like turning this light on in the house. Meanwhile, Caitlyn's choosing to sleep on the couch by herself, and Hall is like, "No, I always knew Caitlyn wasn't for me."
Wow. I have a completely different take on Hall.
Okay, give it to me.
And I'm not saying, I'm going to preface all of this with, I am not saying this makes him a good person. I'm not saying he is a good man. All right. But I think some of that is less about Caitlyn's behavior and it's more about what Michaela has sparked in him. And I'm not saying that Michaela is necessarily the one that he should just be settling down with. I also think that's preposterous. But I do think that the the central issue here with the two of them was this kids thing. And like I've
Yeah,
always said that like children are this is not something this is not a negotiable. Those that's one of the things you have to agree on. It's relationship ending. And if you are with somebody that maybe you feel like you love and on some level you do, right? I certainly don't think he wants any harm to befall her, right? But like this is a very, very big deal, and you know that her heart's not in it. How can your heart fully be in something that's so important to you that you're not going to get from this person? So now you're seeing someone who's into you that is saying that they want the same things you do, and that's your biggest thing. Um,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's less about Caitlyn, and it's more about like the fact that now he sees like, oh, there's hope. There are people out here that actually do want to have children with me and have like that same future.
Yeah.
So I
You're
don't
right. You're right.
know.
I do just think the whole thing is crazy though, because in the grand scheme of things, I feel like they still Hall and Michaela have probably known each other at this point in the show where we're at. Like they've probably only known each other for like a week and a half at this point.
Right. Oh, no, that I
And
agree with. I agree with
and I
that.
do think like I think that Hall is thinking. Obviously, the kids thing is important with him, but we're talking about Caitlyn, who he has known, been with on and off, whatever, dated,
Mhm.
got engaged to for 8 years. Now he's talking to this girl, Michaela, and I thought that we saw it a little bit in this episode of like, all right, Hall obviously is super into Michaela. Michaela seems to be into Hall, but I thought I saw like a little bit of like hesitation from Michaela too, where she was like, all right, Hall, you're 35, I'm 24. Our big connection, the reason why you seem to be so doubtful now of Caitlyn and so into me is the kids thing. And she asked him, like, when do you actually want to have kids? Because I could
Mhm.
see this being a problem now, where it's like, I could see Michaela being like, I know I want a family. I know I want at least 3 kids, but
Oh
I'm only
yeah, no.
24. I don't want to start. Like, are you okay, Hall, with not starting a family until you're 40? Like, if I want to wait till I'm 29, are you okay waiting until you're 40? Like, because you might be able to stay with Caitlyn, who you've been with for 8 years, and 5 years from now, you could have 2 kids with her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Right, but that's why I mean, like, I don't think that Michaela is the one that he's supposed to be with, but I think that what she's done is shown him that there are people that can be into you that want that. Like, I feel like because of whatever situation they're in their little small town, like he probably just doesn't feel good enough about himself. This is who he's been with. Like, this is just it. You just like accept it. But now it's like, wait, here is a pretty girl that is telling me they want to do that. So like, I don't know. Like, maybe I feel like there's hope for me. Um,
yeah, I get that.
if they go
And,
for it, it's not going to work, but like,
right, right,
but
right,
that just means that she's also not for him. Yeah.
right. Brett had a comment here about Hall. Did his fiance say she didn't want to have kids? She's 30. Sounds like he's holding on to shit from when when she was 22. And that's the thing. I feel like we've heard Caitlyn saying that like she would have kids, but like she wants to get some other stuff in order. Like Caitlyn, I'm 34. I don't have kids. Caitlyn's only 31. It's not like my sister Eileen, my oldest sister, didn't even get married till she was 32. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it doesn't like you don't have to be 25 and like know you want a family and start it right then. I just feel like Hall was like way jumping the gun where it's like I get it, like you want to have kids right now, but like Caitlyn doesn't want to. Michaela doesn't seem to want to either. Like maybe
No,
you'll
but
find
I don't
somebody that
know.
wants to have kids immediately with, but like
There have been, I don't know. I don't think that's completely fair. I believe that there's a little bit more to Caitlyn and her distaste for the kids. Like, I don't think she's as willing as we're acting like she is. There is no passion behind it whatsoever. If she has agreed to it, it's been very lukewarm. Um, so like I don't know. Like I could understand not having the fullest confidence in what she's saying because she doesn't have the same passion.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And if Hall knows that and has figured this out, he has to do what's best for him. I do
Yeah.
feel and I guess you know technically I guess you could put some of the blame. We don't know these people or their relationship history, but like I do feel bad for Caitlyn a bit. And maybe you could put the blame on her a little bit for taking Hall back. But like my heart kind of broke for her a little bit at that bonfire when she was like, "We broke up. You wanted to get back together. We got back together. You proposed to me, and now you're saying like you've always known that I wasn't the one for you." Like, if Caitlyn, I think it has said on the TV that she's 31 now. If they've been together for 8 years, that means that like she has known him since she was 23.
Okay, so he's known her for 8 years too.
No, I know, but
I
I
think
just,
yes,
I
I
just,
do think that's very sad for Caitlyn. It is sad, but it's
yeah,
also, if it's true, it's also very sad for Hall. Can you
yeah.
think how sad it must be to be proposing to somebody and your heart's not really in it and always
But
thinking that
that's
this
I
is
think on
wrong?
him though. Don't propose to
I'm not
her.
I'm not saying it's not on him, but like, people get pressured into things. Like everybody's like, so when are you gonna pop the question? It's been long enough. It's been long enough. Like he said that like everyone just expects us to be together. Um, I'm tired of talking about Hall.
I know we've been talking about Hall and
Yeah,
Hall and
yeah,
Caitlyn
I
a
don't
lot, and
care
we
about
made a
these
lot
people that much. Can we talk about the fact that Paris is so ridiculous, like crying over like Great doing whatever he did with Nafisa when she was one who opened this entire bonfire experience? We're talking about how she would be sucking dick if there weren't cameras there. Like she is like too
yeah.
much. All these
I
people are
think
too
it's
much.
all. I think it's all ridiculous, though. I think Paris is ridiculous for crying over Great. I think
Yep.
Great is ridiculous for crying over Paris when he was
Yeah,
just in bed with Nafisa.
I hate them.
Um, I think Vanessa is ridiculous for crying over Rob being like, "Well, no,
Vanessa.
I'm the one that actually lowered my standards," because we know that Rob only said that because Vanessa was the one that was like, with Rob,
Thank
I
you.
kind of had to
Mhm.
lower my standards.
Yes.
Like Rob never would have said that if you hadn't said it
Mhm.
first, Vanessa. Like,
It's
what do
so
you mean?
disgusting. It's just
Now
so I
he's
can't stand it.
yeah.
I cannot stand it. It makes my blood boil. I can't wait for Big Brother to start to be drop this show. I hate it so much. It's just so absolutely infuriating.
Can I actually tell you? So I was explaining earlier today, like to Mary Kate, to my sister. So anybody watching or
Mhm.
listening, my younger sister, her name is Mary, and she like asked like how the pod was going, like what are we watching, what are we talking about, and I was talking to her about Temptation Island, and I was like, basically, it's this show where like a bunch of couples show up, uh, you know, and then a bunch of singles show up, and the couples separate and they kind of date these other singles, and and then the couples either decide at the end that they want to stay together, they want to leave with someone else, or they want to leave alone with no one. My sister was like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. I was like, why would anybody even make a show like this? Is awful. It's like, so you're telling me couples are coming here and the whole point of the show is to break the couples up? Like,
It's horrible. It's horrible. But you know what I will say though is that I have not been 100% on the Mark host train. I always felt like these bonfires were a little slanted, but he definitely earned a lot of points with me with the way that he kind of fired back at Vanessa.
oh yeah,
Because
yeah,
yeah, because she was going on like, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe why would he? Oh, I can't believe he did that. Rather, I can't believe he did that. Like, what is that? And then it's like, wait, you just skipped everything that he said there. Like, you just ignored all of that. It's like, thank you for circling that back.
yeah, yeah.
That's all.
He
That's
seems to
all.
hold them accountable pretty well.
Yeah, he does. He does. And that was my big concern. I was like, I don't want us being too gentle on the women. If they're doing wrong, get them. And he
Yeah,
did. He got her. Got her.
yeah. God, I feel like this is all such a mess. It really is all
It's
so.
so
It's
stupid. It's
so
just so
messy. It's
stupid.
so messy.
I will say I liked Maricella's response to everything that was happening with Christopher. She said, "You know what? Good, good. I'm happy that he can move on. That's what he needs, and that's what I need now to move."
Yeah,
And I thought that was very, very mature. I liked it a lot.
I tell you, I like Maricela. She's she's hot.
See, but that's not
But it's
enough.
not just that. It's not just
No,
that. It's not just that.
it's not
I
enough.
also did. I also did. I did like her response to the clip.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny, Chris seeing like Maricella's clip and being like really pissed off about it and being like, I'm done with her, like declaring, going back to the villa and like declaring, like, I am officially no longer with Maricela, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I'm like, and he kept saying this too. He was like, oh, she's just going to come crawling back to
Crawling
me.
back,
I
crawling
can't wait till
back.
she comes crawling back. And all I could hear in my brain was, he was actually saying, I can't wait until she comes crawling back because he thinks that she's going to. And
Yeah. I don't think
I
she
don't think
is.
she is.
I think she's real good. I think she's real good. And she said that at the end of the episode. She's like, I feel very good. I feel free.
Yeah.
She is gone. She is gone. I don't
Yeah.
even think she would sit next to him on the plane.
And I didn't feel bad for Christopher. Like, he hasn't done as much as some other people physically, but like the way he was talking about Maricela during this whole episode, like I was like, shut up, bro, because like the very at the end of last episode and at the start of this one, they showed us again him being like, I think he was talking to Nafisa actually about Alexis being like, yo, I was talking to Alexis outside. My dick was so fucking hard. I was like, shut up, man.
Yeah,
Shut
it's really
up.
weird. It's really weird. I didn't like that. I was like, I can't believe they're showing this because like this actually airs on USA. Like this is not just like a Peacock show. I mean, that's how I watch it. Like they actually air this on TV, talking about this stuff and like sucking dick on cameras. Like I don't know. This show is gross.
This show, it really is just
No, it really is. Like I feel foul
chaos.
watching
Yeah.
it. Like my mom
Yeah.
is like, "Oh, dinner will be ready in 20 minutes." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "I feel like you shouldn't even know that I'm watching this." Like it really is smart. No wonder why you didn't let me watch this when I was in high school. The show
No,
was
there
trash.
are things happening. There are things happening in this show that I'm like, there was a point because I wrote a note down towards
Mhm.
the end of this episode. Maricela and I think Christian is the name.
Christian.
They got into the shower together, and then like afterwards, they showed them like just like lotioning each other up, and they were naked the
Yes,
whole
totally
time.
naked, just
Yeah, and
full
the
acid.
comment that I the comment that I wrote was Maricela and Christian do many naked things together.
Yeah, it's like
I was
very
like,
strange.
is this like
Like
what is this?
yeah, I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like I shouldn't be watching it. You're showing it to me. That means people edited this down. There's
Yeah,
people out there who saw more. I feel like I shouldn't have even seen
with
that.
no blurry. Yeah, with no
With no
blurriness.
blurry. Ugh.
Like there is somebody in production for this show that just sits there and like this,
And then has to blur it.
and then
It's like
and then watches all these people hook up.
I'm imagining it like MS Paint. Just like spray paint.
Like, can you imagine like having the job in production of being like, I work for Temptation Island.
Ugh.
I blur out all of the naughty bits.
I'd be like, you do what? I'd be like, you're such a weirdo. I'm like, ew. Like, I don't even want you to sit next to my food. Get away
Right?
from my fun. Ew.
Oh my god.
It's gross. The show sucks. I wish people
I don't
would just go home and just shut down. I really
Yeah.
don't want to even watch this anymore.
I have to tell you, I was hoping that there would be at least a couple of like eliminations in this episode. I was surprised we didn't get anything.
It's gross. Oh, well, your girl Caitlin, she ends with now she's talking to who she called Sebi. For Sebastian. Did you catch that? I was like, no, she did not just try to sell us Sebi.
Sebi.
Girl.
I don't know if I caught that. I
Ugh.
have a friend named Sebastian, but we call him Sabs. What's up, Sabs?
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, any kind of degeneration of a name. When you're doing it like facetiously and then it becomes real, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's not the vibe I got from Sebi.
Sebi. So
Like,
do you not think that everyone else calls him Sebi, or it's just like a Caitlyn pet name?
Oh God, I hope it's just a Caitlyn pet name because my God, if people just walk around, hey Sebi, like I'd be like, no, I'd be so disgusted. Please. No. But yeah, so now Caitlin's starting, she's starting to sow her wild oats. She's hanging out with two men, kind of made Mike a little jealous. He does not wear green
great.
well, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, he was mad jealous.
He was jealous. Which is also funny
honestly,
because they never did anything. So what are you jealous of? Like
the one night that we might think they would get into bed together, Caitlyn ended up sleeping on the couch and never going back in the bedroom. So I don't know why he's so like. I have to tell you too, like the differences between the guys' villa and the girls' villa are so funny to me. Like it's always like even the fact that like after the bonfire, the girls came back to their villa and all the single guys were like, "We set up a spa for you," and then the guys came back from their bonfire to their villa and all the single girls were like, we got the shots poured. Like
Yes.
everything's ready to go. Like I think there was one night too, like it was like the same night that at the guys' villa, like all the single girls were just like twerking all over the guys, and like people were hooking up, and like the exact same night at the girls' villa, all the single guys were doing like a talent show. Granted, that was the night that Parrish and like Tajik like did their stuff or whatever, but like I just think it's funny to see like the differences in the house. Like the guys' villa is always partying like way hard, whereas like the girls' villa is way more low key.
Right. Absolutely. And in that, I also now remembered something else that happened that I thought was like crazy to be on USA. We had Paris outwardly talking about great eating Nafisa's ass.
Oh yes, you're
And
right.
I was like,
You're right.
what?
Yeah,
As my reverend mother is sitting on the other side of the living room, I was like, thank God my AirPods are in. Like,
yes.
What is this mess?
You're so right. And this
Oh
was
my
something that I
God.
heard. Yeah, I heard. I immediately was like, wait, what? And then like, because I'm watching this on Peacock, which is like an NBC, vehicle, and I'm like.
Right. I mean, I know it's on USA.
someone-
I do understand that's
Right.
cable. I believe it airs at what, 10 p.m. But even still,
Right. Like they will like bleep out every single curse word, even the most mild curse words on Big Brother. And we like see people hooking up on Big Brother and stuff, like, but every little curse word, every little swear word gets bleeped out. Meanwhile,
you get the fish for everything. Fish tank,
Yeah.
fish tank.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Temptation Island, no bleeps for anything. Just straight up, the same girl who was like, if there were no cameras here, I'd suck that guy's dick. Like a couple weeks later, she's going,
I can't believe he's eating ass. I'm like,
yeah. I'm seeing this video clip. He's eating ass. I'm like, what is happening?
this show is total
what
trash.
is happening?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. I mean, I'll be tuning in next week.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
I'll see. I'll check it out.
See what Nafisa's been up to,
Yeah. Do we think any of these couples are on track to reunite at the end of this series?
Not a single one. Not a single one. No way. Actually, okay, you know what? Okay, hold on. I will say this. There is one couple. I don't think it's going to happen. But like during this episode, what I thought was really funny was Rob's been hooking up with Desiree, has gotten super emotional about how like Vanessa is always controlling him and he can't really be himself and blah blah blah.
Are you going to tell me you think Rob and Vanessa have a shot?
I don't really think that they're going to get back together. Mm-hmm. But I feel like everyone else is not even like it's not even Hall. There's not a chance. Like he's done with Caitlyn. Mm-hmm. He wants a family immediately. Whoever it's with, whatever.
Yeah.
Chris, I don't think it's going to happen with Chris and Maricela. Not even because Chris doesn't want it to happen, but Maricela,
no, she doesn't. Nope.
Paris and Great are never going to speak to each other again.
Yeah, so much for making up on the plane back to Nigeria. That's not going to happen.
Right. Like,
so much for my theory.
There was one thing, okay, because Vanessa's been pissed about Rob, but she still hasn't really done anything with Bryce, who she's been hanging out with. And I don't even really think Bryce is all that much into her, to be honest. And then we've seen Rob sort of like say that he's done with this. But there was one comment he made in like a confessional in this episode where he was like, I'm kind of conflicted. And I'm like, of all the people here, we've seen you like crying about how like you can't be who you really want to be in front of Vanessa. And like now you feel so much more free, and you've been hooking up with Desiree. He has actually made that red light turn on in the girls', villa. And now all of a sudden you're giving us a confessional where you're saying you're still kind of conflicted. Like, I thought that was a little weird to me. Like the fact that he would have any conflict in him whatsoever still at this point. And the fact that she hasn't really hooked up with anybody either. Like she's been very vocal with Bryce, like claim me, let's be husband and wife here, but they haven't done anything.
Right. No, but now, this episode ended with Rob getting real close with Desiree. And, we had Vanessa falling asleep in a very dark room, but then was illuminated by the red light.
Right. Right.
What do we think about that? I mean, that's certainly going to change things. If it isn't indeed Rob that has now given in to temptation.
Yeah. Well, I think he's
Vanessa
turned
ain't
that
gonna
light
go
on
for that.
before, though. I think that Rob and Desiree in the hammock has already turned on that light.
Did they? Did she
And I think
know?
not that anybody knew necessarily. Well, no, I think at the bonfire they did show Rob and Desiree because Paris was like, and Desiree looked like she like had her leg around Rob and they were making out and stuff like that. So like I think that at that bonfire she did see something like that, and then you have her staring at the red light the whole night, not hooking up with anybody. You have Rob doing a confessional where he's saying he's conflicted. I don't know.
I
I'm
forgot
just
that.
saying. I
I don't
think
know. I
all
feel like it.
four. Yeah, I think all four couples are done. But like, and I'm even surprised. I'm saying it myself. I would think that out of the four left, I could almost see that being the one that somehow makes it through. I don't think
Wow.
for sure it's happening, but I could see it maybe
Okay.
potentially. We'll
Wow.
see.
That's very interesting. Because I don't know that Rob would.
I don't. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree with you. I think it's still less likely that they will stay together than that they will. But if I have to choose one couple right now out of the four, they might be the one that I would pick. Like if I was forced to pick, tell me right now one couple that you're saying is going to leave the island together that has even the slightest chance. For whatever reason, I'm leaning that way. But I don't think any of them are going to make it.
I don't know that I want. I know what I said before, but I don't know that I fully want to give up on Paris and Great. It's looking really rough now. It's looking really rough now. But like I feel like if one of them sees how the other one is hurting, because Great, I think there's a little bit more emotion behind some things. And I think that his actions with Nafisa, like obviously, like I mean, Nafisa is, I mean, she's smoking hot, like we get it.
Oh,
But like I think he was
goodness.
also so emasculated by the way Paris was behaving that some of this was a little bit of that. And like I'm kind of like acting back out. And I wonder,
Yeah, that's true.
is it completely impossible that if the two of them just sat down? Because Paris, as wild as some of the things she says, there's something about her that I also feel like would be very receptive to a conversation. Like I feel like communication is probably pretty decent with her if she's calm.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. The two of them just sat down and had like an honest conversation about like, I felt this and you felt this, and who knows? Who knows?
I gotta be honest. You're winning me over a little bit
Yeah, I think it's
because
possible. It's possible.
because they are one of the couples, right, that came in, and Paris said that Great had cheated on her before,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen Great in bed with Nafisa, so we know he's fooling around here on the island. Whether they've fully gone all the way or not, he's still definitely fooling around with somebody. So he, as far as we know, when this relationship came into this game, Great had cheated on Paris. We don't know what Paris had done if she had ever cheated, but we know that
Right.
Great cheated on Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So now we still have Great acting out, like kind of like hanging out with Nafisa, getting into bed with her, whatever, doing what they do. And now, maybe for the first time ever, Great is actually seeing Paris cheat on him. Where it's like, this is what I've been doing to her the whole time. Like,
This is
and
how
they,
it feels.
yeah, like they did, like, both Paris and Great, they almost did seem to be the most emotional in this past episode of any of the couples. And maybe they've decided, like, who knows? Maybe, a couple weeks from now, we're talking about how they've both realized how, it hurts the other one when they hook up with somebody
Yeah,
else.
like I don't
But
want her
maybe,
to see that again. I don't want him
yeah,
to see something like that. Who knows?
yeah. Who knows? I think you could be. I think you could be totally right there. Honestly,
Maybe, maybe. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how this one unfolds. Oh, am I now dialed in? I don't want to see. No, I
yeah.
still want to drop this from BB25. No, we can't. We have to see things through. We don't want to be that again.
I don't
we've
think
already
we'll
dropped
drop
something.
it. I don't think we'll drop it.
Yeah.
I could see if it starts to conflict though with BB25.
It could be a Saturday night cracked conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
And
yeah.
even if we're doing 2 or 3 episode recap or something like that, I think we'll still finish it.
Yeah, I
But
got you.
especially because I don't know when this when Temptation Island ends. But with BB25 starting, and then like literally a week later the challenge starting. Like if Temptation Island is still
The
going
back
on,
burner.
I feel like that'll have to be like a 3-4 episode like cracked Strat Chat like recap at the end when the season's over, like finale.
Yeah. We can't give it up. We're dialed in. I have people to root
I got to
for
see
now.
what happens. I got to see who Nafisa leaves that island with. That's honestly,
She's one of the singles. It's not supposed to be about her. I want to see who Nafisa leaves the island with. It's about our
well,
couples.
that's what I.
It's about our couples and
well,
their healing and their journey.
For me, it's about Nafisa. And
well, you're missing
there
it. You're missing.
there are two options. She either leaves with someone or she leaves alone, and then I give her a phone call.
And then you scoop her up. It's so ridiculous. Stupid. All right. Well, that's it for that, right?
I think that's it. Yeah.
I think that's it. What do we have coming up? We had a conversation the other night.
The best conversation. It was
with the new friend, the very new friend, Miss Renee from Big Brother Canada 11. We had ourselves a time. We had said we just wanted this to be like 45 minutes. It ended up being 2+ hours.
two and a half hours easy.
It did. I do want to pull a clip or two before we end up posting it. Because she didn't want to be live, and then she said, we should have just done it live, but we hope to have her back with some friends. We'll talk about that another time. But maybe Saturday we can do a little premiere thing. Could be a fun time.
Hell yeah!
Right. I want to do it before Monday in case Monday happens.
Yes.
Right.
You're right.
So yeah, I'd be looking around. Follow us on the socials, Strat Chat Pod. We'll kind of announce when we had that conversation, when we're going to share that conversation. That was also Sans Gina. I hope she's still part of the podcast. I don't know. Maybe she's bailing. She's been absent all week.
She's got better things to do. She won't Lidl. It's just what a mess.
She's being a non-participant. No. It's not. It's really not true. We tried to get her in. Brett, get out of here. I need more Gina. Yeah. We know why you want more Gina. Ugh. Any Hoosers. So find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We'll be talking about when we're going to share the Renee conversation. And then I guess we're really back next Thursday for more Temptation Island and Claim to Fame.
Temptation Island with Nafisa, right?
Right. That is definitely our cue to leave. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's a real fun night. Y'all take care now.